you.
What is your strategy to run a competitive campaign for school board? And will you commit to rejecting donations and support from privatization linked organizations such as Go Public Schools and the California Charter School Association?
Well, I'll answer the second part first. Yes, I will not take contributions from them, but even more than that, they will not give me any contributions. After running for school board in 2012 and 2016, those two campaigns combined, I had over $500,000 against me. And so I by far hold the record in Oakland for the most money ever spent against a school board candidate. And almost all of that money came from charter school advocates and their billionaire backers. And so really what we need to do to run a competitive campaign, we've already been doing a lot of the work over the last 8 years. And so the first step was really to help educate the community just on the issues going on and really shift the narrative. And we've seen since 2012, we have an ever-growing number of successes in really running electoral campaigns directly against school board candidates. And so we're really hopeful that this time everything's gonna fall into place. In 2012, as a complete outsider, I got 45% of the vote and was endorsed by the Democratic Party and the Green Party, teachers, students. And it really, that's when I realized that there aren't really hurdles to people like us running for electoral politics. A lot of it takes hard work and discipline. And really, I've been working for the last 2 years to try to put together a coalition leading into the election to really provide that support. And we know we will never have as much money as the other side. And so the only way really to counter money power is with people power. And so it's going to be essential that we have a strong field campaign and we're really mobilizing the community around the importance of these elections. But now that we are all in lockdown during a quarantine, we're going to have to really evaluate some of these things. We did have a plan that we were already planning to roll out in these months to start holding house parties and meetings at the school sites. Obviously, we can't do that now. So we're going to have to come up with a new playbook, somewhat to speak. But the other advantage that I think I have going into this election is because of the work I've done over the last 8 years and running for school board twice. I do have strong name recognition. I'm known in District 5. I'm known in the community. And more than that, I'm born and raised here. So we have a lot of family connections and just relationships that we've built up over our lifetimes that really we're going to try to put into play for this election.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Question is, what is your strategy to run a competitive campaign for school board, and will you commit to rejecting donations and support from privatization linked organizations such as Go Public Schools and the California Charter Schools Association?
Okay. Well, this is my first time running for a public office, so I don't really have a strategy other than to be myself. And so far in my experience, that has served me well. I say that because I've been known as a person who is willing to roll up her sleeves and work with everybody to get the job done. And the job done for me means that I'm getting the best that I can get for my students and families. I'm committed to all parties, all educators that are involved in the process, from the janitor to the superintendent. So when it comes to rejecting donations and support from private entities, that's an interesting part of the question, because initially when I went into this, I was hoping to use 100% of my own funds so that I wouldn't have to subject myself to that. But after talking with a couple of friends who've been in this arena before, they explained to me like approximately how much of my own funds I would need in order to be successful. get over to the finish line, so to speak. Uh, I thought, well, okay, I'm open and I'm willing to listen to all parties, but I don't have a strategy or a plan for rejection per se.
Thank you. So the next question is, what is your strategy to run a competitive campaign for school board? And will you commit to rejecting donations and support from privatization-linked organizations such as Go Public Schools and the California Charter School Association?
Yeah, I want to be real clear about this, that I think that the crisis that we're having in our public schools is directly due to this corporate takeover of the charter schools. They have used a good, there's a lot of good, there's parents with good intentions that have fallen for the belief that a charter school will give them something that the regular school system hasn't, without understanding that there are many inherent issues in why children fail. If it has nothing to do with their race, their ethnicity, or what language, it has to do with the resources and the support that they get at the school sites. And Oakland has lost more than $50 million to the charter schools. And so I think at this moment, I am totally prepared to renounce any money from any organization that's related to charter school. That does not mean that I reject the desires of parents and even the desire of some of the teachers that work in the charter schools. I think they're well intended and have, in some cases, believed the idea that the charter schools would be something different. But I don't believe in the privatization of public education. And charter schools do not believe in school boards. They don't believe in democracy. They don't believe in unions. That's enough for me to be very clear about where I stand.
Thank you.